dive into it. The world of a chief is an interesting world. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you.
Before we go into the conversation, I want to remind you that this show is sponsored by Munene College of Health Sciences. It's a TVET institution based out in Thika. It's determined to bring to you a training, to bring to you knowledge, to bring to you resources and tools to change your life. I'm so excited because I've interacted with what they do. I will encourage you to check it out because it's a college you can trust to change your life. Go to the website www.jfccollege.ac.ke and interact with what they do. You can make a call 0700-114-115, 0703-114-115. Talk to somebody. They'll be listening to hear from you and guide you through the process because they're saying, look, we're here. Talk to us. Talk to them, please, this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Oman, good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Welcome on the show.
Thank you so much.
On the Morning Scoop, we do it before everyone else does, so join us as we continue. This conversation is live on YouTube. Please leave a message, subscribe, share. You can also follow us on X at @WestTV_Kenya, at Mr. Kitui. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The conversation today starts with a proverb, my brother.
Right.
Where water is the boss, the land must obey.
Yeah. Where water is the boss, the land must obey.
Yes.
Yeah. It is it's wide, but we can limit ourselves to, water normally has its own power. And water normally flows to get its own level. And number two, in the same, when you talk about water, you're talking about life. And as human beings, we didn't emerge. God did it, and we are moving on, like going into the new sphere, without any hindrance. Either with the hindrance, we will always get our way out, then maneuver to get to our destination. Yeah. And without water, life cannot be there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You come from Kimalewa or Jekwabi?
Particularly, I want to introduce myself. I'm Kimasere Johnston Wasike Swala from Kamsinga sublocation, Sawa village, Chebukwabi location, Kimilili sub-county, Bungoma county.
So it's Chebukwabi?
Chebukwabi.
Not
Chebukwabi.
Kimalewa.
Kimalewa.
Kimalewa is in Kapchai, actually.
Kimalewa is in Central, which is Kapchai. Right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. To start us off, we know chiefs.
Yes.
Everyone has interacted with one, either in a good way or in a bad way.
Correct.
But the role of a chief, actually, just start us off there.
The role of a chief, that is an intermediary center of every program by the government. It's an intermediary person, a person who has to disseminate the information from the source to the public. That's our key role. Number two, protection of people, lives and property, and at most, ensuring that security of every given region where you govern is maintained and kept at all times without favoring any wrongdoer or intimidating the others. It is a role that is unique and it requires a call. It's well, at times it becomes tough, but you have to oblige to what has happened and work rightly, and that's our key role in most times.
When you talk about law and order, that's huge. Security, chiefs are we all have interacted with chiefs in different ways.
Right.
What comes out so prominently is security,
Yes.
law and order.
Yeah.
You resolve disputes
Yes.
in a big way. But then it goes beyond that.
Right.
You're a human being.
Right.
How is it affecting you as a person?
Well, most effects, and at all times, each individual feels must have been a winner. And you know, when you make a resolution, each person will want to be a winner. But normally when you base on the facts adduced as at that time, they will lead to where a wrong was, and then where a correction has to be done, and what was right, and what is supposed to be in place. Yeah, so our scope of doing things is wide. It starts from inside people's houses to the public. Yeah, you know, when there is a family conflict, they will come to us. When there is a house conflict, we have to step in. And even on matters extending into even communities, like for my case, I handle communities that are diversified. I handle almost the 42 communities within our country, and my area is, I think, is a cosmopolitan area. So I handle all communities, and so we start from house to communities. That means it's wide, and well, we at most times we attend to so many issues.
Yeah, but how does it affect you?
As a person, I think it does not really affect me, but I internalize everything that comes my way.
Yes.
Because if I could be talking of being affected, then I could have already run away from the same service.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if effects supersedes your ability, then there is need for you to run away. But in most cases, okay, fine. There are some, on a limited note, some cases affect you because you find that one who has acted wrongly. And then also, when you make a judgment, you feel even for the same person.
Yes.
Because, well, he's a straw man who has committed an ill. And then when you make a judgment and even recommend for a further penalty, you feel even for him.
Because you know this person.
Yes.
You feel the same way he feels.
Right.
But then he has committed an offense.
Which is against society or community. You have no choice. Yeah. Those are some of the limitations I've said that affect most of our work.
Whoa, you see, I was looking at it. The Chiefs Act, it gives you all the powers in the world. You can do anything, be anything.
Yes.
How do you balance your responsibility and then community, where you come from? And interestingly, all of you govern areas where you come from.
May I say this? The IBBG and then also the Constitution of 2010 did a lot of harm to reduce the powers initially invested in the Chiefs Act.
Okay.
And so, to some level, we manage to those limitations. You know, you can't contravene the Constitution.
Yes.
And number two, you can't go according to the recommendations of the IBBG that were never implemented fully. So we are in those limitations. You see now the IBBG was the creation now of the current Constitution. And so most of the things that we do are engraved.
Yeah, but as is, it still gives you enough powers.
It gives us.
And then to me, when I'm looking at it, if someone has committed an offense and they've come to your attention,
right,
you have the powers to punish this guy.
Right.
But then you have a responsibility to this community of which you belong. With this offense. How do you balance that?
Like I said, after you make your maybe charge or seemingly interact with the same person who has got an offense, we make recommendations. And at times, if we feel it's out of our hands, we normally second for a court to make the ruling, the fair judgment, so that you, in a way, he will not see you as the real person who has offended him. It is himself who has offended himself.
Evidence is overwhelming.
And so the evidence adduced will give now a judgment that should come now from even the court. Normally, most of the things that become tough, we always second them to the courts.
The courts, okay.
Yeah, because we interrelate. Yeah.
One of the tasks that you guys are supposed to do, or you are mandated actually, is maintaining law and order.
Yes.
Now, matters security. But then, this law and order includes knowing the people you are dealing with.
Yes.
And as I said, you are leading, or you are governing, or you are a leader of the people from the same community as you.
Yes.
That means for you to know these people, you must interact with them.
Correct.
That's where we have chiefs barazas.
Yes.
Something that is not very commonly seen. Most chiefs, you guys don't do. You don't meet people, you don't talk to them.
Excuse me, sir. Maybe to some level, it might not be me, because me, I interact with everybody.
Okay.
And I at times even make visits to some homes.
Okay.
On particular issues, and not only that, we are mandated that per every month, you should hold 2 public barazas, not in the same place, but you move from one village to
another, okay.
The next village. And then, like for a chief has, at times, most chiefs have 3 to 4 assistant chiefs. The assistant chief will also be interacting at the lower level. And the chief must ensure that every month, you must at the least hold 2 public barazas in various corners of your location.
Okay.
That means you are interacting. People give you a report. You also give them the information from the government and what is entailed that people are supposed to be acting on.
Okay.
And apart from that, we believe in even apart from public barazas, we invite some groups to meet. Yeah, we meet, and then we also visit even groups that are meeting, and they're holding their own meetings.
And then, well, people can have their own engagement. They invite you as a guest.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So you also use that as a platform.
It's a platform. You know, you share with people openly. You interact with them, and even in funerals. Yeah. We meet people.
Funerals is like every other day.
Every other
2,
day.
3, 4 times in a week.
Even more than that, because it depends with when God has not done what is wrong or maybe Satan.
Okay.
We meet with people on quite so many occasions, and we also encourage that people should be inviting us in their even other meetings, like when you have a group meeting.
Yes.
We are at liberty to come and also share with you.
Okay.
Interact closely to share the good and bad side of every meeting. Yeah. And then also give our guidance.
You see, there is when I was growing up, I could hear, innocently I could hear someone saying, we're seeing these movements every evening and it is not good. Reporting that in public barazas or maybe church gatherings or maybe funerals. Yes. Local security in an area, you kind of are in charge.
Right.
And those people who will be involved in lawlessness in that community are from the same area.
Yeah.
But then some of them don't care what you will do. They'll still go out and commit a crime. Someone you know is your neighbor's son, is doing that. Me, I'm finding it very difficult because how do you just confront someone's? In the old days, it was easy because parenting was communal. Nowadays, it's been individualized.
What has happened is that the world is dynamic. The changing trends are there. But normally, like you have asked me, if it so happens that you have seen one of the sons of your neighbor who has gone wayward, what do you do? Right. That's maybe the particular question. What I normally do is we use different approaches. It's not that you just have to pump on to the same person. First of all, we approach the parents, talk to the parents. When it persists, we engage the community. Then apart from that, we will also reprimand the offender of the acts that you have been mentioned in 1, 2, 3 occasions about your activities. Kindly refrain from the same. Kindly refrain from the same. And if at most, if one is arrested, or at times, if he persists, and then we get him in an act, we normally apprehend and hand over to the local security to handle the matter.
Yes.
Yeah, and then also encouraging those ones that have been offended to also report the same. Yeah, that's the way we handle it.
You see, matter security,
you know, when you directly engage, they would say it's a personal.
Maybe you have a grudge,
like
or maybe you don't like them,
the family, or maybe you brag, maybe that because you are in that position,
or maybe someone has paid you to do that.
Yeah. So we normally always ask. We follow due processes to necessitate the offender feel also that no, I have offended the community, and therefore I also have to be punished for the same.
But then someone paying you see the issue of corruption. Someone corrupting or trying to talk to you nicely, and let me finish. Someone finishing, you see, you are a chief.
Yes.
Someone has offended another person.
Yes.
So the offended is the offended has more ability in terms of wealth. Okay. Then the offended will be able to bribe 2 or 3 other guys, yeah, to come in as witnesses against this guy who is who it genuinely did something wrong against this guy. He needs to be punished, sometimes reprimanded. But because the hatred in the community, sometimes corruption comes into play. This guy tells these guys, unatakanga nini, I'll help you, I'll do this. What I want is just tell the chief that you saw this guy doing this. So in such an due diligence you just talked about, how due is it? How extensive is it?
Right. You know, on such like an occasion, like you are saying that the offended has the muscle,
yes, to
shake the entire village.
Yes.
The few that can do that are not living now, maybe.
Okay.
Number 2, I believe in honesty. Number 3, I will also make my own investigation about the whole issue. You don't just rush into making judgment. And then also, like you mentioned, that when one corrupts the others, you know, you can be corrupted, but at time when you come to questioning, you will find that even the person who has come to attest or to give witness,
yes,
when you give him some good questions,
they don't have all the information.
They don't have all the information. Like for our cases in the village, yeah, one can talk. But when specifically you say, now, it's your time, come and share the light, they will shy off. Because they know they don't have all the information. I don't have all the information. And number 2, if I'm giving false information, I will end up being also being apprehended. Because it's an offense. It's an offense. Right.
Also, law and order, maintaining order in a community. Right. It also goes to the extent of knowing the people who are doing this. Right. That means you're the one who is the final signature for them to get IDs. At this stage, how is it? Because we've had stories where guys applied for IDs, they never picked, or someone has never applied for an ID. Then we have transitions, new ID regimes, We had the old, then the newer generation, then we have the newest generation. So share with us a bit of that ID stories, from guys applying, not picking. Like how many do you have in your office today? And then guys who have not applied for IDs and they need to do that.
You know, you have put a mix in the very many questions.
Yes, it's one question, but with very many. Yes. So you need to actually explain.
All right. Initially, what we have been doing is one, we sensitize the communities about application of IDs. We sensitize. And you know, when you sensitize, it does not mean that you go checking people from their houses to go and tell them, go and
come and pick IDs.
No. We sensitize, allow freshers, like at most cases, the students who have come out of school, those ones are our first clients. We advocate for them because we want to see them in the next stage.
Okay.
So majority of them do apply after KCSE. They do come and apply. Then their applications are always forwarded in the Office of the Register of Persons within the sub-county. Then from there, they forward the same applications to the printers in Nairobi for verification and then return. But for the cases that you are talking about of people applying and not coming to pick, those cases are too many. People apply and then they disappear.
Okay.
They apply and then they disappear to where we cannot tell. Like for our cases, we have been mandated to know the people applying. Yes, your son has applied and he has gone to stay in Mombasa with that small card of the waiting card. He decides even to get engaged in Mombasa. He
does a job.
He gets a job. Well, he forgets all about the ID. The ID will be produced, then be brought to the
location.
Not picking center.
Yes.
We have been
within the location actually.
No, the registration center where we went and applied.
That is Kimilili now, the sub-county.
Yeah, the sub-county. The sub-county registration office. Then from there, we have a bulk of them that have not been picked by the applicants. And remember, we have transited from the many generations of IDs.
Yes.
Like now, we are getting Maisha card ID cards, which means we have transited from the previous IDs. And so now we have a bulk because the previous ones had not been picked. The current ones, the Maisha card, a few of the people who are eager to do joining and active things have come to collect their IDs.
But others have not.
But others, well, they have gotten a job. I'm staying in Mandera. I'm living in Lokchugyo. I'm doing my activities even without an ID. What's the bother of the ID? Majority of them, I wish we even can move around here, just around this, the current sub-county where we are talking from. You will see for yourself from the registration office the mess and the bulk of what has not been picked. And you know, initially when we were going for elections, people felt that we would use the same IDs to give to those individuals who are not ready to have theirs to go and vote. But we collected all IDs back to the offices, and that's where they are kept, and that's the safe custody for keeping of what? IDs. Our offices currently do not hold any ID cards.
So all IDs are at the sub-county level?
Sub-county level in the registration office of Register of Persons office.
Yes.
Yes. We don't hold on IDs.
In your estimation, your location and maybe Kimilili sub-county in general, what are the numbers? People have not collected IDs.
I don't want to make a mistake of not giving the right number.
Okay.
Because the registrar is the one who has the record of the collected, the issued and unissued ones. And also the fresh applicants as at the moment. Yeah, because it's advocating is
Well, we can make a safe assumption that it's in the thousands, right?
Yeah, because we have too many applicants. At the sub-county level, they must be in thousands. And some have not been collected. Yeah. And then also some people lose IDs, like you said. We can get even elderly people who do not have ID card. Yes, we have elderly people who don't care. They don't have IDs. I have several cases. Some, even when you talk to them about IDs, one told me at one time, you persist in telling me to go and pick an ID. Do you want to engage me in a government employment? Then I felt like, wow, have I made a mistake to talk to him about an ID? And then even at times we get people who pass on. You get to the family and ask them to produce a document so that we can write the permit for burial. It doesn't have
There's no, okay.
And then that makes it even hard for you to write, and then it becomes an issue even at time when you would be, maybe he has children to get their IDs. They always register themselves on the names of their other uncles or even their aunts or even the grandpa. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, most of the people, a good number don't have ID cards. And then also there has been a tough condition. You know, some of us, we engage so much, and even our sisters from across the border, we engage them.
We get married with them?
No, we engage, and then we become good friends, and then they become our mothers. We don't talk of marriage, they become just our mothers. then when at times of registration is always a bother, and tough conditions on how one from across the border can register. And, we live with them. They are there with us. They are aged, but they don't have IDs.
They don't have IDs.
They don't have ID cards.
You just talked about across the border.
Yeah.
We have domestic workers,
right,
who have been employed from across the border.
I'm talking of our sisters.
No. Let me now expand that.
Yes.
It's a follow-up question.
Yes.
We have domestic workers from across the border who came in because they walked across without registering. They don't have travelers documents.
Right.
They're here. They're working in your community.
Yes.
Maybe they're looking for someone's livestock, or maybe they're actually doing domestic work like cooking and farming things. Yeah, but they don't have IDs.
Right.
How do we manage this person?
The policy has been tough because when you engage somebody, you must have a contract. Yeah. So it is upon the employer to necessitate the information to us. Then we also register the same, such that in case of an eventuality, we know this person well and where he has come from. And then in case of anything, we have a follow-up. But most of our people are queer. I want to say they are queer because our brothers are always queer. They don't want to share information. That is the greatest hindrance and challenge to us as administrators. The challenge. The people hide prime information from the relevant authorities in fear, and at times not even ready to share with the authority. That is the challenge we have. And also, like you have said, the domestic workers, most of our sisters who have come from across, they engage around. They stay in our houses. But you only hear of when an ill has been done is when people can voice. But when life is on, smoothly running,
Everything is good.
Everything is, wow, my best worker, my cleanest worker, my everything. Give all the descriptions, and it only arouses their anxiety when an ill has been committed.
Because you cannot trace this person back to where they came from.
No.
So there's no way of getting to know how to get them and apprehend them.
Right. And also, the ones that our sisters do, and brothers from across, when they come around, everyone is a brother and everyone is a sister from across. Even it can be a wife, but he calls a man or my. And then, when one calls one another that name, that good name, it means he has every reason to hide his identity under that same person for a specific task.
Whoa, that hinders crime prevention to a certain extent, because you are mandated to know, actually know when crime is supposed to be done and prevent it by maybe either interfering with the network that is supposed to commit that crime, and that way you don't prevent crime at all.
While on a limited scale. We prevent it to a limited scale, because for you to prevent, you must have the information.
Yes.
And then also no further information about the same. But now when one hinders or hampers the information from you, it means he has curtailed you from now executing what you know. And okay, fine. When you pump on some of them and then say, well, we want more information, the employer will raise up alarm and say, you are only molesting him because you are against his activities.
That, and also the element of you see, information has to flow, right? And this information flows from the community. So when the community is not giving you the right information or all the information, you are also limited because you don't know how to
approach and then execute. When you approach well and then know the right information, it will give you also a reason to move to the next level.
Which also raises the issue of Busa dens. There is a time in the past 2 years, we saw you guys very active, arresting and pouring enough liters of Busa. But then Busa in itself is not bad. We grew up doing it and growing up on it, and it's a diet to some of us. Then you guys come with a strange government policy where you arrest us because we are doing this business here. And then on the other hand, your office licenses some to do it. That's leaves us confused.
I wonder anyway, to start on the last question that you have said, we license. Our officers don't license.
Okay.
Most of the licenses that we have around are from varied ministries. Ministry of Interior does not license those activities. I think it is the county that has now to do its due diligence, and then get to at least have maybe a policy, towards that line. Number two, when you say it is a beverage for some of us, as you have mentioned, I want to say no. That beverage is not so clean.
Okay.
It's not so clean. And I want also to encourage our dear brothers that we have some other varied businesses that we can do, apart from serious engagement into the business of Busa and all that. Then the worst is that we engage too early. Like in the morning, you get somebody down. And you see, how productive shall you be in the near future? You have children to take care of. You have other activities to take. But you engage too early, which is no good. Our offices have tried to work on the same based on the law of engagement. Because if it was a clean business, then you go in for a license. Like you can operate a bar.
Yeah, because you are
a bar
licensed.
is licensed, the beer is supplied
Yes.
legally. How legal is the supply of busa? How legal is the supply of pusaba? Well, it's a privilege, yes. How legal is it? How legal is it?
But then, you see,
Number two, no.
Yeah.
Let me finish. Okay, fine. On occasions, on some occasions, customary occasions, customary functions, to some level, well, you can say yes. But it is a day-to-day business which does not have a license. You know, it is a detrimental to the development of every given area. And I want to tell you, brother, and the listeners that are there and the viewers, let's now be fair to what we want to give to our people. Let's be fair to what we want to give to our people. Yes, we have consumers, yes. But now let's be fair. How best have you prepared this beverage?
How clean is it?
How best? Does it have a caps to prove that you are giving people a right drink? Like okay, fine. To a hotel, our hoteliers and attendants go for medical checkup.
Yes.
How often have our busa brewers gone for medical checkup? The service offered is done in very filthy areas, very filthy conditions. Okay, we say it's cheap. Yes, cheap is also expensive at times. Okay, the worst is that even the fermentation process that our people carry on, sometimes people use chemicals which have some harm to our health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the methane at times are used in some of these fermentations. And also the clean environment is not there for the consumers. I want to ask you, brother, that we move out and get to one of these places. First of all, you just get scared because of the interaction, and then even the type of service that you are given. You know, our other brothers elsewhere do it fairly and good. But in communities where people are supposed to be productive, like Bungoma, and particularly where I come from, people should not engage in this activity. Okay, fine. If it's not that you cannot leave it, then engage from some. If the government, or if you go in for a license and convince the county and the MCS to sit and have a law, will not come for you. But as long as there's no law, no license, no, it's not good. It's not good. And also, particularly when guys come to consume the same beverage around your area.
Yeah.
If you have small kids, you know, people immediately they get, wow. They will engage with your children and even your wife. Yeah.
Like prostitution?
Correct. And also, in those areas, how safe are those other people who attend to the customers? Yeah. Medically, I want to insist. Well, I can be sick the way I am, but medically, I'm upright. But you get somebody who will want also to really extend his sickness to other people, right?
So he uses this beverage?
Beverage, yeah, right, yeah. And then in the near future, some of the consumers, you will miss them. They will not be coming, and the extension goes on, which is not good.
I want us to go to a break. When we come back, the chief will be talking about this and a few other things as we go towards the end of the show. The conversation with the chief is so interesting that I didn't even want to break, but let's follow the rules. We'll be back in a bit. Before we go to the break, I just want to encourage you to look at Munene College of Health Sciences, JFC Munene College of Health Sciences. When you apply to go to Munene College of Health Sciences, you also get an opportunity for exposure. You are assured of getting equipped, getting the tools, getting equipped, and getting a job, or getting yourself ready for income generation. Go to the website www.jfccollege.ac.ke. We'll be back in a bit.
The Morning Scoop is sponsored by JFC Munene College of Health Sciences.
West TV, tazama ilivyo. Welcome to JFC Munene Colleges, where education meets innovation. Our mission is to provide our students with a world-class education that prepares them for the future. We offer theater technology, orthopedic technology, mortuary science, science lab technology, counseling psychology. At the College of Business Technology, we offer hospitality, business and accountancy, fashion and design. We are not just preparing our students for the future, we are shaping it. Come join us at JFC Munene College of Health Sciences, where the possibilities are endless.
This is the Morning Scoop, with the right dose for your daily inspiration and insight. Join me every Tuesday morning as we bring you the Morning Scoop.
As we see more developments are coming up, the bus park is almost also complete. We have a number of things that are coming up.
Information is not just data, but it is power. It is able to empower you and enable you to turn around and bring change. Join me every Tuesday morning for in-depth analysis.
West TV, tazama ilivyo.
The Morning Scoop is sponsored by JFC Munene College of Health Sciences.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, it's interesting to just follow what the chief is saying concerning the tasks and the responsibilities they have. It becomes tedious because maybe alcohol or brewing of busa in the villages, sometimes changa, is an income generating activity. That's why they come in so hard to manage it. So it's actually for your own good. But away from that, you see, your office is also supposed to monitor and grow development in an area. Let's begin with one interesting aspect of your mandate as a chief. You are supposed to, let me look at it again, you're supposed to prevent water pollution. How is wetlands managed in your area? Because like people grow sugarcane, maybe maize, maybe vegetables, up to very riverbanks. That interferes with the flow of water and water purification, and that means water is polluted. How is your office ever done something towards protection of the wetlands and riverbanks and prevention of water pollution?
That's a wider question, but conservance, we have been trying to do conservance. To some level, I want to say the NEMA group has not been fair to us, because we have to make a collaboration
with NEMA,
with the NEMA, the county, and the national government. You know, NEMA in itself is the national organization geared towards protection of the wetlands and the protection of the water. But they are very limited in their approach.
Maybe because the resources are not there.
Not really. They are funded.
Okay.
They are funded. We need to be prime to this. Like if we go to River Halaba now, Halaba, which is closer here, you'll find people even washing their cars inside the water.
Yes.
Well, and that is by destroying the aquatic life. Number two, the wetlands. It is us who have killed the wetlands. Initially, even our grandfathers never went to the wetlands to do any activity.
Yes.
They had a reason for that. But because of our poor setting, our poor mind of doing things, we talk of the change of weather, bad weather patterns, but not realizing where the problem is. The reason as to why we have these very bad patterns nowadays. Most of the good trees that were around the rivers
are no longer there.
We have consumed. Then the issue of tilling of the land to the banks, the river banks, it's just malicious because we want a lot, and a lot that is causing a lot of damage to the same that we are supposed to acquire. Okay, my recommendation, if I were today one of those leaders who could be given a voice, and that today I think is a privilege to have that voice, because a few of my people, the listeners outside there, and even the viewers, I want to say this: let us ask ourselves, where are we headed to? This Bungoma generally will be a semi-arid if we continue with the practices that we are having along the rivers, along our few forests that are remaining. We are headed to a semi-arid Bungoma. We will not till the land well, the rains will disappear, the good soils will also disappear, the good waters that we say we are in the wetlands will also disappear. We need first of all now to arrest this situation by asking our county team that is out for conservation to come out forcefully so that we retain the riparian areas. Riparian areas for the purpose of planting their indigenous trees, the sycamore trees. We forget all those people who have planted eucalyptus trees around our wetlands. We have to remove them. That will save us from that. And because I'm saying like that because I grew up under that somebody who was an environmentalist. You could not just go and cut any tree. He will ask you so many questions. Why have you cut that tree? What is the purpose? The issue of charcoal has consumed a lot of our natural and indigenous trees. So that currently you walk around, you don't see those trees.
You see, there is you see, you want to make a commitment here that if the county government of Bungoma and NEMA in Bungoma came to your location to try and sensitize and like enforce against encroachment along the riverbanks, your office, you'll be able to work with them.
We get the right marks of the riparian area, the river, and then the riparian areas.
Yes.
We get to get those marks, and then within those marks, nobody should come until we plant indigenous trees. I'm ready to work with them. Okay. Very ready.
What about in the case of emergencies? How is your office been involved in the emergencies in our area?
Say, like what has happened?
Yes, you see, things happen. Sometimes there could be a fire, there could be an accident, there could be anything in homes. These are the people whom you lead. In the case of emergencies, do you leave it to the hospitals and ambulances, or your office is involved in a certain way? And what way are we?
We are the first informers.
Okay.
We become the first informers of an eventuality. Then number two, we collaborate with the other agencies that are ready to come and assist in such like a situation. Like hospitals, like police, those are the agencies.
Because I've never known why there is a fire and someone asks, mumeambia ofisi ya sub chief, I'm a chief. So I'm wondering, what is, you don't have a fire engine. Why do we inform you?
We are mandated to like we are taking care of lives.
Okay.
And also property. And so in case of a fire, a property is being destroyed, or a life has been lost within that occurrence, or an accident has occurred. We are the first prime people to give the information. We also take record of, we take stock of what has happened within our area, and that's one of the areas.
Okay.
Right.
When we talk about development in your area, your office is actually, the requirement is that you provide oversight. You take care of like a classroom monitor, like you tell the people, you talked about the first line of response. Before the county engineer or someone who is coming, like the NEMA, before they arrive, your office must have interacted with this issue.
Right.
If someone wants to put up a house, maybe a fence or maybe a shop, your office provides the first line of guidance. In matters of development, generally education, healthcare, all that, just tell us a bit of what you do.
One, I want to start with education. We are in the first line of advocating for education. And you know, there's no community that can develop
without education. Yes.
We advocate for education. And that's why it is even engraved in the Constitution that compulsory, free, elementary education. It is engraved in the Constitution. And so we want to actualize by ensuring that all our children go to school. Though majority of the people nowadays, the few ill-minded people say education is nothing. But according to what we know, it's only through education that we can reach other quarters. I'm also talking the same language because I went to school.
Okay.
Right. Minus going to school,
you couldn't speak.
I couldn't speak this language. So we advocate. We ensure that all children in our areas have to go to school. And then from there, the ministry provides, and then the government also provides for smooth learning. You transit from, they call them ACDs to university. Yeah. And it's a long sequence, but that's the lineage. Number two, when you talk about development, we also identify areas. Like in my area, we identified two clean areas that we came up with schools, and schools are now in the process. Well, we ensure that our children have to get good learning environment. We also monitor.
Yes.
And the schools are on, and up to and even including high schools. Number three, we advocate for fair treatment to all the children in our schools. Fair treatment. Yeah, fair treatment. And then as you have talked over, maybe constructions. Most constructions are geared and mandated to the county engineers. They're the ones who normally have the mandate to oversee those development of constructions within our areas. But we also inform them that some development or some activity are happening within our areas. And so they have to take care of what is happening there and give the right instructions for a fair activity to be carried out. Yes.
So you can be able to, like, you can tell them this building that is coming up here is standing on a very shaky ground.
Or also we inform them about the land, the history of the land around there, because you can easily come up with a development on a
land that has
disputes, or a land that is geared or was initially intended for a different purpose.
Okay.
Right.
When we talk about, there are two things which, I don't know how you're going to do this, but I want you to, we don't have much time, we just have 2-3 minutes.
Right.
But I would like you to look at it this way. The issue of land dispute in your area, that has been a very big source of conflict.
Yes.
In families and in communities.
Yeah.
You talked about leading people from different communities of the Republic of Kenya living in Kimilili. You know, Kimilili is the largest host of the middle class of Bungoma.
Right.
So that means different communities live there. But then that also attracts conflicts. Maybe a fence, maybe subdivision of land. where that old man you said didn't have an ID, didn't even write a will.
Yeah.
So the children are sharpened more pangas than you imagine. So those are the kind of things I want you to respond to.
On issues of land, I want to be very open that we have done very little, because most successions have not been done. Like as I talk, I'm living on a land of a grandfather who died in the early 50s, and then my father also is also deceased. We have not done succession, so it means minus proper succession, the land disputes will never cease. Because the demand on the land is so enormous that we cannot run away from. And then, as you have talked of boundary disputes, those ones are things of day in, day out, because each person feels he should own a proper an extended land against the other person who has just come today. Yeah, each person always wants to have more other than having less. The few who want less are maybe those ones who are not living today. Every one of us, the pressure is on land, and every one of us wants more and more, and every day he wants more, and so the disputes will not cease.
What should we do?
What we should do on the same is that we ensure that at all times succession be done in good time.
Okay.
Such that allocations are done properly and equally to all the family members. Yes.
The last question which I want you to talk about is, how do you see the office of a chief evolving into the present time and going into the future? Because the chief of the 70s, when I talk about the chief of the 70s, I'm talking about Richard Karani, my chief of the 70s.
Yes.
And the guy who made me have an ID up to today.
Yes.
Now, the environment was so different. Today, the chiefs are, you guys are digital, you are learned, you are well exposed. But then how about tomorrow and the future? How would you like the chief to be going forward?
As the world goes digital, as the changing times approach us, I want to say the chief of tomorrow has just to up the game and fit into the society, so that as he approaches issues, let him not use the Precambrian style of approach. Like things have changed, and the transitions of things have transited, and therefore we can't wait. The chiefs should also go digital, but in most cases articulate issues perfectly and rightly to serve the community. Right.
Thank you so much. Our time is up. Whenever they put a wall clock on the wall,
yes,
it gives us too many hours.
Right.
But this one is small hours, so I'm worried. Our time is
up. Okay, I want to thank all the viewers. I want to thank all the listeners.
Yes.
And well, maybe I might have not answered perfectly to your expectations, but I expect that we shall keep on interacting, we shall keep on meeting, we shall keep on praying for each other, and have a better Kenya, a better society, a society that is developing towards the digital age, a society that is with respect, a society that is full of good humanity, and a society that is ready to learn to go to the next dispensation. Thank you, and be blessed all.
Thank you, Chief, for sharing your wisdom and experiences. It's been very interesting, and I thank you for accepting to come. I celebrate you.
Thank you, sir.
Staying with the Morning Scoop, this is where it happens first before it happens anywhere else. I want to remind you of JFC Munene College of Health Sciences. They're waiting for you right now. Just pick a call, 0700-113-114-115, 0705 114-115, 0704-114-115. Please do that. They're waiting for you. This show comes live on YouTube. You can always follow us and leave a comment, share, and subscribe. When you're on our X, please talk to us, encourage us, or ask our questions. We'll be able to respond to them in our next show. Our X is WestTV_Kenya. You can always talk to me on my X at Mr. Kitui. We will be glad to continue talking to you and listening to you. On behalf of the director of the show, Calvin Kibet, this is CKS.
The Morning Scoop is sponsored by JFC Munene College of Health Sciences.